record on this computer.
Okay, so good afternoon. We are back again with another Technology Services webinar. My name is Andrew Nierenhausen, and I'm joined once again by Laura Peters from Library Development Services. And today we are going to talk a bit about image editing to make your promotions pop. We did a previous webinar covering website banners where we talked through a few different examples of graphic design. And we got a lot of feedback that people were interested in knowing a bit more about graphic design, image editing, what kind of tools were available to them. So today we are going to walk through a few different tools and software, and we'll show you a few different examples from each of these tools. So just a reminder that this webinar is being recorded and will be sent out to everyone who registered. So you can watch it again or share it with your staff or colleagues. So today, the tools that we're going to be talking about are Canva, which is a multi-purpose graphic design tool that you can access in your browser. Canva is a really powerful tool, even with the free account, but we also have a bit of information about how to get a free pro account for those of you who are interested. We are also going to talk about Library Aware, which is a marketing and design tool that built and designed specifically for libraries. If you haven't been taking advantage of your free membership through YRL, then hopefully we can show you a few examples of what you've been missing. Library Aware has some really unique tools that you probably want to take advantage of. And finally, we'll talk really briefly about MS Paint, Microsoft Paint and Paint 3D. It's a free tool that's been around for ages, but it often gets overlooked despite having a few little useful features and tools. I'm also going to share a few websites where you can find some royalty-free images. You're probably already familiar with some of these, but worth taking a look at a few of them, and you might find something new. So let's get started with Canva. I'm going to get out of this presentation. And here we are. So you will need to create an account to get started in Canva, but you can create a free account and still get access to the most important tools and features. Once you have an account, you just log in and we will start here by creating a design. There's this create a design button in the top here. I'm actually just going to have to move my webcam image of myself so I can access it. So we'll hit create a design. This gives us a lot of options for sizes and resolutions and different things that you can do, but you can also create a custom size, and I think that's what we're going to start with. So this is really useful if you know how big you want your image to be. So for example, last time we were talking about this stuff was in the carousel banner webinar. So if you are creating a banner for your carousel, then you'd probably want it to be something like 1920 by 400. So you can go ahead and just start with it being that size. And so you can see that our working space here is now the size that we want it to be. And over on the left side of the screen here, it's going to auto-populate for us a bunch of really useful templates. So for any of these, if you like the look of the design, you can just click on it and it's going to kind of auto-populate in your working space here. You will notice that some of these have this little crown icon in the bottom right-hand corner, and those are part of the Pro subscription. So if you're using a free account, you're not able to access these. But there are actually a ton of free templates. So you can see there's a bunch of pro ones there, but if you keep going, tons of free stuff, really good graphic design still. You may find in some of these that some of the images are watermarked. And so you won't be able to download something that has watermarked images, but you're able to, you can remove those, substitute them for another image, add your own images, and you can still make use of the graphic design and the template. But let's give one of these a try. We'll show you how easy it is to take a template and make something really quick out of it. So I just grabbed this one here. I know a lot of libraries have been doing nature walks and things like that over the last year or so. So let's turn this into something that you could advertise for your library. We'll say, this is nature walks at the library. And that doesn't quite fit in the box. So let's do just a little bit of editing to make this look good. And we'll drag it to the center. We get these nice helpful lines that tell us when we're centered. Really takes the hard work out of doing the graphic design. I'm just going to drag this box. We're not an indie folk band, so I'm going to delete that. And we'll say something like every Thursday at 5 p.m. Maybe I want to make that a little bigger. And it's that easy. This is a nice little banner that you can now throw up in your website's carousel banner and advertise an event that you have going on at the library. And all you really had to do was, update a little bit of the text in one of these. And there's so many of these templates for such a variety of topics that most of the time you're going to be able to find one that's ready to go and really, really quickly use these to advertise for your library. And I'm not going to talk too much about the actual design tools here. As you just saw there, it's really intuitive. It's a drag and drop system. Pretty much anything you click, you can edit. You can right click to delete it. If you hover over things, you get the option to resize them the way you want. And it's designed to be user friendly. So that's the real benefit of using this program. So another one of the great benefits of Canva is that they have these social media templates. We go create a design. So they have Instagram posts, Facebook posts, YouTube thumbnails. And these templates are already in the right resolution to look really good in your social media feeds. So let's pick this Facebook post here. And you'll see again, it automatically generates a whole bunch of templates in that size. They're constantly updating these. If there are holidays or events or world events happening, they're updating these, and there's always new stuff. Even since I started thinking about this presentation, it's been changing every time I log in and look at the templates here. So there's plenty of good stuff. So you've seen what it looks like when we take one of these templates, but let's make something from scratch. So over on the left side of the screen here, below the templates, we have elements. I can't find a good place for my webcam.
I just moved mine right off the screen. Yeah. I was having the same problem.
So you can see under elements, we've got a whole bunch of graphical and media elements. They've got these lines and shapes, geometric shapes, graphics and clip arts, moving stickers, photographs, video, audio, charts. Like there's tons of stuff here. And this is not just for simple graphic design. You can do a lot of different media stuff in Canva. But of course, it's a really great graphic design tool. You can also upload your own content. Whatever files on your computer, you can upload. And there is a text function that we'll talk about in just a minute that has plenty of cool stuff as well. But we're going to go to elements. I figured we'd just make a really quick, like a Pride Month poster or something, or this would be, I guess, a Facebook post. So we just, find the image that you like. This one I'm just going to scale up to fit inside the space. And that's our background. You could use a solid color or a gradient, or you can look up. They have a huge stock image library here in Canva, or one of the stock image websites that I'll talk about in a few minutes. Really anything you want to throw in the background. And we'll take a look at our text. So they have these here: heading, subheading, and body text. And these are going to be kind of your basic text editor where you pick a font and the size and you can bold it and whatnot. But what really shines about Canva is this font combinations section. And so these are, as it says, a combination of different fonts and effects. And you can see that some of these are part of the Pro account. Oh, let's delete that. But they do have a whole bunch of free ones as well. And these are really well designed. And, you know, why make the effort to try and design something like this yourself when you can just go and take a look through here and pick something that looks cool. So we'll throw one of these in here. And we'll say this is Pride Month at the library. And we'll bring that up and center it. Actually, I'll squeeze that in a little bit there. And of course, you could put more information and dates and times and things, but you know, this is a good looking, very quick design that you can, you know, throw up in your feed. So I think that's the big benefit of using Canva for design. And so if you're looking for stock images, there's a few websites that I want to show you for that. And so the first of these is Pixabay, which you've probably heard of. I think this is the most popular royalty-free, license-free image library. There are still some things here that are behind like a pro or paid account, but there's tons and tons of things that are free to access. So we can just take a look here. All very high resolution images. They have a nice little filter function here where you can, you know, change the size and color and resolution, anything that you're looking for in your image. Another one of these websites that is really useful is called Pexels. And it's pretty much the same idea. The same thing, we'll look for a forest picture. And all sorts of different high resolution photos here. Now there's one site that I feel like doesn't get enough attention, and that is Adobe Stock. Now, most of the time, I think people probably avoid Adobe Stock because it is generally a paid service, like you would have an Adobe subscription, and you would get into Adobe Stock. But if you come to their website, at the top of the menu here, they have a free option. If you go to their free option, it acts just like Pixabay and Pexels. But what I really like about Adobe Stock is they have a really in-depth search and filtering system. So if you're looking for something very specific, you can see the filters on the left side of the screen here. You can find exactly what you're looking for. So I think this is a really cool tool to use. Okay. And I just want to come back to Canva briefly here. So I mentioned at the start, getting a free pro account. And so we'll take a look in the pricing here, and we'll go down to nonprofits. So Canva Pro is free for all registered nonprofits, and they have their eligibility guidelines here, and you can apply here. I haven't actually gone through this process, so I can't say what exactly it's like. And I don't know, you know, every organization is going to be different, so I can't speak to your organization and if you meet the eligibility criteria, but I would say definitely give it a glance. This is a really great tool, and having a free pro account would be very useful. All those templates and images and things that you saw while I was in the editor, you'll have access to those, and no restrictions on using the software. So I think that's worthwhile. And so that is just a few free tools that you can use to great effect in creating your images and promotional materials. But now I'm going to pass things over to Laura, who's going to talk a little bit about Library Aware. I'm going to
right.
stop sharing my screen here.
Okay, and I'm going to try and share mine. Oh, there it is. It's in bright green. How could I possibly miss it? All right. Can you see that okay?
Yep,
Andrew?
looks good.
Yeah, okay. You can see my TD staff site. Of course, that's not the site that I want to go to off the hop. So this is libraryware. And as Andrew mentioned, as being part of Yellowhead Regional Library, as a member library, you all have a free account currently set up. And my screen might, in very small way, look a little bit different because, of course, we're kind of like the umbrella account with the rest of our member libraries kind of underneath that umbrella, I guess you could say, in that I can actually see all of our different libraries that are listed here. I'm not sure if let's say Alder Flats would have that same ability. I feel like they wouldn't. So that being said, I can actually go into each of the library's accounts if they wanted to. You might not be able to do this, but you each have an account set up. And if you've already expressed interest in this and you know that you're going to be using it, we've probably already been contacted as to who is on this account, for example. So, and there's different levels. There's an editor, there's an admin. So it just gives you different permissions as to what you can do. So if you know that you're going to be creating, let's say, a newsletter, or what Library Aware tends to call e-blasts, or little widgets for your social media platforms, or I apologize, I'm looking on, I'm just going to switch screens here so I can see better. There we go. So I'm not, looking at the side of my face. But there's all kinds of different things that you can do, and it just depends on what you were hoping to do and share and create, and who is going to be doing that. So there might be limited permissions for some people that have been given access, and others to other staff. So if that was something that you or your staff were interested in, and you're either not sure if you're currently listed as an approved person for your library's account, or you want someone added, then you just need to contact us at either askyRL.yrl.ab.ca, or I'm assuming at, would it be the WSFL?
Yeah, you can contact us at WSFL or at help desk as well.
Oh, okay. And then, of course, at yrl.ab.ca. So any of those email addresses, they'll either get to either myself or Andrew, and we will definitely make sure that you're added. And we'll probably ask you what level of permissions. So whether you want to be an editor, an admin, and so on. So that's, I'm just going to change back to Yellowhead.
So just before you jump ahead, Laura,
Yeah.
it's only showing your other screen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so you might need to drag it back over there.
Sorry.
All good.
All right. Thank you for letting me know. Is that better? Okay. I might just I'm going to put my camera over here because I have that capability. All right. So what I wanted to show you is at first, once you actually signed in, this is the first screen that you're going to see. It's just their homepage. And it's beautifully set up in that you automatically see all of the new releases that they've posted. And it's very similar to Canva in that it is consistently, almost daily, I'm sure, updated with either, it's National Donut Day, or it's, in the States, it's coming up Juneteenth, for example, or, Easter, or there's all kinds of different summer reading club and that kind of thing. One thing to remember, however, this is USA centric in that it is an American site. They do sometimes have a little bit of Canadian material, sometimes, or content. Sometimes it's actually because it's a Canadian library that has created the content. And so it's been made public and it's available to everybody. But you might see something that Summer Reading Club and go, oh, that's not actually with the TDSRC branding, for example. But I'm going to show you how you can actually customize it so that it is branded for our Summer Reading Club versus the US. So this is just a little banner scrolling that you can do to check out all of the new things that they've just recently added. And I use this a lot for both of our social media platforms, for our newsletter, and for a variety of other purposes as well. So there's always, and they're beautifully set up. They've done all of the work. All you have to do is just add any kind of customization, whether it's your library's name. If it was for, let's say, this book club template, for example, you might want to add whatever the date for your book club meeting is going to be. If there was any other special, information that you wanted to communicate to your readers, and so on. Any of the holidays, any kind of national or provincial, in our cases, days of the month, months of the year, etc., are all included in this area. So the next one down at the row of the carousel is things that I've been working on. So it's nice because it just comes up as like a little hit list at the beginning. If I need a reminder, if there was something that the most recent thing I was working on, I just wanted to go straight to it. It's right there instead of me having to go into my personal folder. And then the last one is libraryware staff picks. So they have included, just like, it's common sense, just like at your local library, they've picked their favorites, and quite often they're really amazing templates, and they're ones that you can also, again, customize, just like any of these templates. They are all customizable. So from there, I'm just going to go into my folder so I can show you some examples that I've chosen to give you an idea of some of the things that you can do. Now, again, this is where I create YRL Weekly that is sent out to 300 plus subscribers throughout the province, and it works quite beautifully to create really professional looking content that can also be branded with all of your logos, your library logos, and any branding that you might have in place. It's super easy to use. Like Canva, they also have an extensive database of images, so stock photos that you can use as part of the account. So they don't cost anything extra, and you have full access to everything, including graphics. So it's not even just images. So if you wanted one of people at computer, for example, it's going to give you a whole bunch of different choices to select from, as well as different shapes, graphics, text choices, that kind of thing. So I'll show you a couple of examples of that. And this is something that I think a lot of libraries could benefit from. And it's when they get new books in, either just from themselves, they've picked them up at wherever, any retailer, or they've got new books that have been cataloged and processed here at HQ and sent to the libraries to share with their patrons. So this is a really nice opportunity of somebody's already done all the work. They've put all of this together in a really beautiful template. And this is where you can change it around a little bit if you want. So let's say it's not New Year, it's not January, but it's, I don't know, new month. So let's say, whoops, pardon me. There we go. So we're going to say new month, new books. And just like with Canva and what you saw Andrew do, you can actually play around with the font if you like. So it fits nicely on the page. I can even change the style of font if I wanted to. So if I wanted to change it to something really fancy like this, then I could do that. I wanted to make this a little bit bigger again, just because I've got a different font. There we go. So that's just really just a simple click and change and move and drag and drop kind of system, very similar to Canva. And I can also change anything on this template. If I didn't like this particular graphic, I can change it. I can either switch it out for something else, and there's just a little button here, little crosses, where I could exchange this image with something else if I wanted to by clicking on it. I could leave it as is. Sometimes you can also change the color. It will give you an option up here in the top left corner. But for this example, I'm just going to leave it as such. And then this is the real key great feature that they have, where, again, if you've got 8 new books that you've gotten in for the month, you can actually add the jacket covers of those books. So just by clicking on the one that you want to add the jacket image of, again, you click on this little cross and click on book jackets. Is there a book that you want to add on here, Andrew?
I don't know. What's a new release right now?
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna say Geronimo. Oops, Stilton.
Always
That's
popular.
right. Okay. So as you can see, it is extensive, and it will go on forever and ever. So if there was a specific title, so let's say this just happened to be the title that I was looking for, I'm going to select this jacket. And if you just float over it, you can see it gives you, if you just wanted to make sure that, yep, this is the one, the ISBN matches. It is the 10th volume of the Stilton Reporter. So I'm just going to select jacket. And as you can see, it just pops it right into that frame and I click accept. It's really that simple. So you can very quickly create one of these posters and add all of your book jackets. Oops. I think that's how you spell her name. Yep, it is. Whew, saved. Kristen is exceptionally popular, so I'm just going to add that, except it's that easy. So that's kind of the beauty of these posts. You could add all of your content. And again, you can change anything here if you wanted to. If you didn't want Resolve to read more here and you wanted to add something else, you can completely change that over. If you wanted to move the circle altogether, it's just a matter of doing this and clicking on the little trash can to get rid of it. And it's that simple. From there, you would just click save. Normally it asks me for a name. That's interesting. Oh, maybe it's because it's already in my folder. Forgive me. I've already saved this into my folder. So it's just saving the changes that I've made. Now, if I wanted to share this on one of my social media platforms. So I'm going to share it to Facebook. I just click on the one of the two that we have anyway. I just add here whatever text I want to share that, these are the new books that have arrived at the library for June. Of course, you have to stay within 969 characters for Facebook, significantly less for Twitter, of course. Once you're done, here's the image that will accompany that text. And then it's just either a matter of clicking post now or schedule for later. And it will give you just a little calendar to pick a date, pick a time, and you can schedule it to go out. Let's say you wanted to go out at 8 a.m. on Friday. It will do that. So it's really that simple. They have recently added some slightly different templates, however, which are a little bit more complex, but still very, intuitive overall. And the one thing that I do suggest with LibraryAware is the best way to learn LibraryAware. I imagine is probably the best advice for anything, obviously, but just get in there and play around. You can't break it. It's very easy to change things, and that's the best way that you're going to learn. It's how I learned to use LibraryAware over the years. So don't be afraid to get in there. If you get a template that you've chosen that looks like this, so I was just doing a general search on the main page for new books, and this came up. This is quite new. I wasn't familiar with it. So I've played around a little with it, and it's quite easy to get used to. So again, similar situation with the wanting to change a book jacket. You would just click on it and what is it? Change image. So you click on change image and go to book jackets. So it just looks slightly different in appearance. Jerron, whoops. Nah, oh my. Nemo Stilton. Okay. He's my guy. So I'm just going to use select, and you can see that it just changed the book cover. So easy peasy. And again, if you wanted to change the font, the color, it's just a matter of clicking on it and it brings up all of the information that you require here. If you just float over the little tools that are available, so I could change the image again if I wanted to. With this situation, it's actually just an image of new books in the neon. I could also edit the image with some special effects if I wanted to. So that's another appearance that could be presented to you where you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do with all of this. By no means do you have to attempt to alter any or all of these things here unless you wanted to customize some of the books, for example, in this particular case. The other thing that you can change is you can see our very old branding is here. If I click on it, it allows me to actually change it to our new branding. So if you had branding, you can add that. And that's going to be back to, I'm not going to save any of this. You can add that to the admin section, which is, oh goodness, I think it was asset management and branding. So we already have ours all set up, but if you wanted to add your logos and any of your branding so that it's automatically populated as a default on any of the work that you do in LibraryAware, just click the create button, and it's literally a case of just uploading the images that you have. Hopefully they're really high res so that they're always nice and clear, and it will autofill any of your branding into the works that you're working on. And from here, I think I'm just going to show you some other examples that I've used over the years, including posters for Summer Reading Club. And again, these are, now it didn't look like this at all when I first found it, because again, it's not a TD branded, there we go. So you can see that I actually used from the TD site. It's gonna, that toolbar is in my way. Okay. So there's all kinds of images that the TD-SRC site has for anybody to use. These are all free marketing assets. And essentially, how do I make this toolbar go away? Goodness gracious. Okay, sorry, I just have to move this down for a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I couldn't get back because that toolbar is in my way. But TD, the staff site, has all of the logos, all of the images, even ideas on the branding colors if you wanted to go that far, any of their font styles, that kind of thing. And then you can basically customize everything. So this is a TD-SRC for 2022 background that they had available. So I just changed it, added one of their little cute pictures to it, changed the font and the title. I can't remember what they had called, what I think it was just Summer Reading Club, but it's basically just an invitation for some programming that that you could do. So perfect for this, and that, you know, I could create this as a poster. I could create this as something I'm going to post to my social media channels, and you can customize again any of this text within any of these text boxes. There's even a button that you could add a link to, so that if this was up on, let's say, Facebook, people could just click on the button and it'll take them right to, let's say you had a Woohoo form on your website, and people will have that direct one-click access to sign up for whatever this program might be. And if there was any sponsoring, I've just added a couple of little images in here. It's either drag and drop or just upload images. So for this one, for example, again, it's just change image. And so I used the book jackets before, but for this one, I'm going to upload an image. So again, you can drag and drop, or you can just click on select image from your computer. And if I went to my downloads, for example, so I'm just going to upload this. So it says it's been uploaded, and I'm just going to go back to images. Sometimes it takes a little bit to load. There we go. So there's my little logo that I just uploaded, and you can see some of the stock photos that have also been recently used as well. And it's just a matter of clicking collect. So this particular template also has a little bit about, you know, get our app. But if I didn't want this, for example, I can remove this entirely. So it's completely customizable. And lastly, I'm just going to go back to my folder here for a moment. Oh, I was there already. Forgive me. So again, it's endless, the things that you can do with LibraryAware. Anything from, we have a school library that really required some signage to just distinguish certain areas in their new library space. So we just created some really simple signage that would just go into acrylic sign holders for them. So you can see nonfiction, fiction. They had a really fun graphic novel section, and these were really bright and would immediately draw your eye back to the very back wall in the library where their collection was housed. They also needed some signage for for the nonfiction area. And as well, I use this a lot for any of the days, let's say that we might be closed, for example. So you can see here for May 23rd for Victoria Day, you can make a really quick little widget to share on social media channels. I've used it a ton for things that are just already made. I haven't touched anything on it. So they have the Pulitzer Prize winners here. All I've done is literally just save this into my folder and shared it. I have done nothing else to it. They've done all the work. Why do any more? And they really have some great options for different either days of the month, days of the year, months of the year, etc., that are being celebrated. So if that's something that you wanted to bring attention to your patrons, it's all done for you here. But it's just an endless amount of really beautifully put together, graphically sound templates that are available for everybody. And from there, the only other thing I think I wanted to mention, I forgot about this at the very beginning. So here's just their super simple search feature. So if you wanted to look for, I don't know, spring break, let's see what comes up. So they have all kinds of different fun templates again that have already been created. Everything from bookmarks to this is a newsletter template. You can see it says eBlast. They have flyers here. So there's either half flyers or quarter flyers. And then when you printed them out, if you wanted to have a physical copy of that to hand out or to have available for patrons to pick up, then you can break it down either into 3 different sizes that they have here, for example, or even a poster size that you can post in your library. And you can see it just goes on and on and on. There's an endless amount of choices that they have available, including, spring reads, just fun little things like what are you reading this spring and so on. So whatever you're looking for, you're bound to find something in their just basic search field. From there, this is something that I could probably spend 2 hours on easily on just this site alone. And it's something that we might actually create a webinar that's just about LibraryWare, but LibraryWare themselves actually offer a ton of really great training themselves. So quite often, usually every month, if not every couple of months throughout the year, they offer webinars that are free. And it's basically getting started with LibraryWare. And so they'll teach you all the tips and tricks that you need to know to use this, to your best advantage, really. So I think I will stop there so I don't take up the whole webinar. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Andrew's going to talk to you now about Paint.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. And this is just going to be really brief. So Paint and Paint 3D, both softwares which come standard on any computers with Windows. If you're using a Mac, I know that there is a comparable software. I'm not familiar with Mac products, but I know there is one. These are kind of basic graphic tools. They're not particularly powerful. They don't have big libraries of free images like Canva and LibraryWare, but they've got a lot of little functions that you might find yourself using regularly. The one thing that I use on almost a daily basis is just the select tool. You can bring something up in Paint. Maybe you've taken a screenshot of something and you just want to grab a little image like that, and you can copy that and paste that into another document or whatnot. Such a simple little tool, and it's you can open up Paint to get that done. The other one that I wanted to point out is one that I pointed out previously in the banner and carousel video, and this is the color picker. It's such a useful tool. I can't overstate how useful this is, but if you're ever trying to match 2 colors and you're trying to eyeball it and you can't quite figure it out, open up, you take a screenshot or save the image and open it up in Paint, and you can grab this color picker here. Let's say we're going to try and match the blue and the track logo. So we're going to click on that. This little color swatch here lets us know what it is. And if we double click on this, we can copy that hex code right there. And what you can do with this in any graphic design tool like Canva or Library Aware, where you're working with colors, is you can enter these hex codes. So for example, if you've got a font here and maybe this is what I wanted to match, you can go into the color of your text. And in this little search bar here, we just type in the hex code and pops up right there. There's our universal color, and we can change our font to match that color. So these are just a couple simple little tools I feel like people forget about or don't know about in Paint, and I just wanted to highlight those as well. And I think that's it for us. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Actually, I'll just pop this up.
I'm sure either one of us could go on for days about Canva or Library Aware or even Paint. Like really the choices and the tools are just so expansive and really easy to use. That's the beauty of it, is they've been designed for that purpose, not for the professional graphic designer, but for, a library staff member, or anybody, like a independent business owner or something like that, that just wants to create some really professional looking posts that they can either print out or send out online. So it's but the best way to learn is just to get in there and play with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, this isn't something like Photoshop where you're going to need to take a bunch of classes to learn how to do it. You can jump in and get started right away, and that's what's so great about them.
Yeah.
So, do we have any questions?
Dana.
For Dana.
She has said that she's super glad she's here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we could put this on and highlight this stuff as well.
That's right. That's right. She said sometimes she has trouble with Library Aware. She's had her library logo uploaded, but she can never seem to add it to the image. You know what? That's something actually that I should have mentioned, and I meant to. How can I do this for my image? You know what I would recommend, actually? Can I share my screen again there, Andrew?
I'm just going to stop sharing mine.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay. So Dana, this is, or anybody else who's going to be watching this in the future. Library Aware has the most amazing customer service that I have ever experienced. And not once in the maybe, 8 to 10 times that I've reached out to them over the years, have I ever been disappointed. So this stuck chat with us button is magical. They will instantly respond. It's live chat. And if you have an issue, they will work with you to get it resolved. Sometimes they'll even get into your account remotely and help you with whatever it is. Sometimes they'll even just do it for you to make sure that everything is working properly, or they'll give you really clear instructions on how to fix the problem that you're encountering. So what I would recommend actually is click on this stuck button and just type in here that, I added my branding, but I'm having I'm having difficulty getting it to actually load into things I'm working on, and they will look into it and help you instantly. Super, super helpful. The other option is their help and support button, which is just down here at the bottom, and it will take you to, there is another option as well, just up here with the little question mark. This will actually take you to a different site. Here is where you can actually reach out to support services and get some help. So you're basically sending them a little message and they'll get back to you. This option here is if you were looking for something, you're looking for an answer, and you can just, let's see here, branding not working, just something simple. So it's going to give you a whole bunch of different search results, and you might be able to find something here that someone has had a similar problem. So the question's already been asked. And so there's some options for you here that might fit whatever the issue you're having is. If that doesn't work, or you just don't even want to go that route, do not hesitate to click this live chat button, because they will get you going in the right direction instantly. That I have no doubt of. So I hope that helps a little. Oh, I can't
Oh,
hear you all of a
sorry,
sudden. There you
I'm
are.
muted.
That's all right.
Yeah, I just wanted to second that. Every time that I've needed help on LibraryWare, that quick chat function, they're incredibly helpful. So
Yeah, and it's just instant. There's no waiting. There's always somebody there. It's even been like 10 o'clock at night and I've been working on something because I've been working flex time, and voila, someone appears and helps me with whatever it is that I'm doing. So yeah, it's a really great site. Sometimes there's little things that are, I used to say clunky, and I think a lot of those issues have been improved upon greatly because they've really they've enhanced the site quite a lot over the last even 6 months. But every so often there's just little different, things you come across on the site, like you do with anything, that you might go, why did that happen? Or I don't understand. And if you're really stuck and you can't find it in the help site, then just click the live chat. They're happy to help.
okay.
All right. Well,
I think that brings us to the end then.
I think it does.
So thanks everyone so much for joining us today. Again, this webinar has been recorded and will be sent out to everyone who registered for the webinar. It will also be on YouTube, so you can watch it and share it there. Our next technology services webinar is not yet scheduled, but it will probably be the third Thursday of July at 1:30 p.m. because that's been working for us so far this year.
It is our webinar time.
The topic is also not yet official, but there's a really good chance that we're going to be talking about LEAP. And we might be talking about LEAP for the next few webinars. That might be our topic for the summer. So keep an eye on the YRL newsletter because that's where you will get that information. And hopefully we see you there.
I know I'm going to attend all of those. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming. And if there is something that you're still really feeling like in Canva or LibraryWare or Paint that you're either just stuck on, or you've had difficulties with, or whatever it is, don't hesitate to reach out to either wsfl@yrl.ab.ca or askyRL@yrl.ab.ca, and we are happy to help. If it's something that we can't help you with, and again, it's maybe more library aware centric, where they're the experts, so it might just be a recommendation that you try the live chat, or there might be something on Canva that we can recommend. So don't ever hesitate to reach out. And that's it. Have a great day. I'm going to stop recording.